And we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the second part of the show, we are going to talk about the Vikings 2024 schedule. I'll break it down, give you my early win-loss predictions for them. So let's get into that. Switch a couple things around here. So the Vikings, they had an up-and-down season last year. And a lot of that had to do with just what happened at quarterback. Kirk Cousins was playing really well, and then unfortunately he tore his Achilles in that game against the Packers in Lambeau, and they had to start. Well, they traded for Joshua Dobbs, and he actually was playing well for them, and then the defenses kind of figured him out, and he ended up getting benched. And Nick Mullins came in and started some games, and then there was that week against the Packers where Jaron Hall was starting. And then they started falling behind, and then they put Nick Mullins in. But it was kind of weird how that game unfolded for them. Well, not really how it unfolded, but just how that whole situation with they started Jaron Hall, then they benched him, put Nick Mullins back in. When they should have just started Nick Mullins from the beginning. Now they probably still would have lost to the Packers because the Packers were playing really well at the time, but I don't know. So this is the Vikings schedule. Now, I don't know who is starting. I think it's too early right now to know who's actually starting, whether it's Sam Darnold or J.J.McCarthy. I guess they're just going to battle it out, and then we'll see. But obviously, J.J.McCarthy is the long-term answer. At least between him and Sam Darnold. I don't know if he is going to be the guy. We'll have to see. It's like that for all the rookie quarterbacks, even Caleb Williams. We could believe he could be the guy. He might not be. We got to see if they actually are. Now, I did say that I think J.J. McCarthy has ended up in a very good situation with the Vikings, but he's got to go out there and prove it. Now, again, I don't know if Sam Darnold or him, who's starting week 1. It's probably going to be Sam Darnold, I would think. I know there was a video of him throwing a touchdown pass to one of the tight ends. It was a pretty good throw. But again, that's just one video. But it was a good play. Good play. Anyways, so let's get into the schedule here. So I think the Vikings are going to finish in last in the division, but again, that's just me. So I did have them losing to the Giants. I remember I did say that I had the Giants winning this game in week 1, but the Vikings could win. Definitely a toss-up game. So, but I said I'd give them a loss there. But then they take on the 49ers and the Texans and then the Packers the next 3 weeks. So I think they lose their next 2 games. Then they take on the Packers. I know, but then I got them going 0-4. And then, their schedule is pretty tough to start the year. Other than the Giants. Because they take on the 49ers, Texans, Packers, Jets, Lions, Rams. Then you face the AFC South 3 weeks in a row. Even though I think the Vikings can win maybe 2 of those 3 games. I know. I don't know why I don't like... Well, the 49ers, I say they're going to lose that. Even though they did beat them in Minnesota last year. But, yeah, I think that one you pencil in as a loss. Texans, like I said, loss. Packers in Lambeau. I'll say they split. Then this is an international game against the Jets. Who knows what's going to happen at that point if Aaron Rodgers is playing or not. I'm hoping he is, but everybody's just nervous just because he played 4 plays last season. So yeah, I don't know. To me, if Rodgers is playing, I think the Jets win. I had the Lions winning against the Vikings. I know. I don't like this schedule. But I don't want to give the Vikings no wins. I think they lose to the Rams too. I'll say they beat the Colts. I think the Jags beat them. But I'll say they beat the Titans. All right, so... All right, I'll give them... Oh, man. I got to give them some more wins here. I think they'll get, like... I'm going to say 7 wins. I don't know, 7 or 8 wins? I mean, I think that's fine, right? But I got to see. Well, all right. Well, the Giants game is a toss-up. They could win that. Like I said, I mean, I think they could split with their divisional opponents. The Cardinals can be a win. That's a home game. The Colts can be a win right there. The Titans, I could see them winning that. Then Kirk Cousins comes back in Week 14. I'm going to say the Vikings win that. And they say, hey, we don't need you. We don't actually need you. The Seahawks game, that could go either way, I feel like. Yeah, I don't want to give them no wins because I think they're a good team. I think they have a good roster. It's tough because of the quarterback position. I think they'll finish with the losing record. Like I said, maybe 7 or 8 wins. I think that's what they can get. It's just but I'm looking at their schedule and I'm like, oh, I see that as a loss, that's a loss, that's a loss, that's a loss. But I feel like they could pull off they're going to pull off an upset somewhere. But again, they're going to have a young quarterback playing. I mean, I feel like I said, I feel like Sam Darnold, he's going to start off as the starter and then eventually J.J.McCarthy is going to take over maybe late in the year. Yeah. So, but yeah, some of the good. I mean, obviously, some of the divisional games are going to be good. I think all the matchups this year, when all these teams play against each other, are going to be good. Between the young quarterbacks playing and just the star power all over the place. I mean, a receiver. I mean, from Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and Amon-Ra St. Brown, Caleb Williams, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, the Packers' young receivers, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed. There's receivers all over the place in this division. So, and you got the Kirk Cousins revenge game, like I said. So that should be fun late in the year, Week 14. Yeah, I really don't like their schedule. I feel like they have a difficult schedule. And I know I said that they're going to lose to the Giants, but I'm not very confident in that. I think that game they could win. But yeah, weeks 2 through 8, it's tough. Tough schedule right there. I mean, they could find themselves at 1-7. It's or 1-6. It's just but they could prove me wrong. But yeah, their schedule, like I said, their schedule is pretty tough. Because like I said, you got then after Week 8, you got you got to deal with Anthony Richardson and him healthy and Jonathan Taylor. Then you go to Jacksonville. The Titans, I think, are going to be a better team. Got the Bears twice. Cardinals with Kyler Murray. Then you're in Seattle late in the year. Before that, you play Kirk Cousins. Yeah, it's a tough schedule. But I don't think the Vikings are going to be a team that wins 4 games. I think 7 or 8. They'll find a way to get around there. Yeah, I don't want to disrespect them like that because I like their roster. It's just that now if they had Kirk Cousins, they'd probably give him another win. Because if you remember, they were on their way to getting themselves back to 500, over 500, and even over 500 because of how well he was playing, and then he unfortunately got hurt. But now they got to hit the reset button. They got Sam Darnold and J.J.McCarthy, so... Well, J.J.McCarthy, hopefully for them is the long-term answer, so... But... Yeah, so, like I said, I think 7-8 wins for them. I think they miss out on the playoffs. They just play in a tough division, too. That's the other thing. Like, I just look at the Packers, and the Lions is better, and I think the Bears are going to be better, too. So, but... I mean, we'll see what happens. Maybe they prove me wrong. So, before we go to our next break, again, let me know what you guys think. How many games do you think the Vikings will win in 2024? We'll take our next break. Before we go to our next break, though, again, just want to remind you guys to tip or donate, get your comments recognized. Make sure to go to the following link. That is GSMCPodcast.net. Again, that really helps the show, makes the show more interactive between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. Again, that is GSMCPodcast.net. And as always, it is displayed on the ticker at the bottom of the show segment down below. So when we come back, we'll talk about Drew Brees. He will be inducted into the Saints Hall of Fame, so I'll talk about him when we come back from our second break of the show. So with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.